All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Fit Podcast. I want to welcome our guest who you guys just watched, hopefully, Josh DeRozier. He is the owner of Health Code Fitness again, and we're going to chat it up a little bit tonight. We're going to talk about the best and worst ways to keep your clients continuing to come back. Josh did mention in the previous episode how he's got some lifers, some clients who have been with him for a long time. And if you guys are kind of unsure what I'm talking about, make sure you guys go watch the previous episode. Before you do that, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. But Josh, how you doing tonight?
Not bad. Not bad. Thanks for having me on again.
No problem, no problem. Glad to have you on, man. So, all right, let's dive into this topic tonight that we both kind of thought of. What do you feel like is the biggest, I guess like the one of the most important reasons, you could list out a few, to continuing to get clients to coming back into the gym, continuing with you. What do you feel like are some of the biggest things that you do?
Yeah, so we talked a bit on that prior episode a little bit. Continuing education, so learning things that are fresh to keep training fresh for people. One of the other things too, I think a lot of trainers undershoot goals. The client needs to lose like 20 pounds. Like, yes, that is what the client needs. They also need to gain strength, mobility, stability, etc., and figuring out avenues to express that to them and ways to kind of demonstrate that to them in the gym or in their daily lives where they realize like, hey, you know what? There are more loopholes in my physical life and my active daily life that can be improved dramatically if I stick this out for a bit longer than I thought. One of my big things that I ask in my assessment that I think is different than a lot of coaches and my clients value it. It's usually coach client relationship, right? And it's like, hey, you know, what hurts, et cetera, XYZ.
Yeah,
I always end my assessment. I'm giving you guys the golden trick here. What are your expectations of me as your coach?
there it
They
is.
they will dive into exactly what they expect me to do for them.
Mm.
And it lays out my job to a T to service that client to the best level that I can. It's also my job to bring them other goals along the way. Some of my lifers, I look actually to graduate somebody from training. I don't gatekeep anything from them. So I'm a wide open box of information. Anything they want to know, I will tell them. There's a lot of trainers in the industry that'll make it so complicated for a client that they feel like they always need their trainer or they wouldn't be able to do this wild exercise and set that up, et cetera. I don't gatekeep a single thing. Weirdly, I get lifers because they love the way that I coach them and how I bring them through their goals. Um, some of them reached goals 4 or 5 years back and they're still hanging out 2, 3 times a week with me and they value it. They're still progressing. They realize through the journey that their original goal actually there were much deeper levels of their goals and farther things that they could accomplish. Like, yeah, they lost the 15 or 20 pounds, realized they couldn't do a pull-up, and they're like, dang, I want to learn how to do one of those too. And then in the process of learning a pull up, you know, they find XYZ other skill sets that they're like, I want to be able to do that too. Um, yeah, so uh, good service. Yeah, good service, continuing education, keeping things fresh for clients. But also, I do want to touch on not every workout needs to be different. Every
Nope.
trainer thinks novelty is the greatest thing for a client. I pride myself on we're going to hammer things until you're good at them. Um, no need to change out an exercise if somebody's making progress on it. If you change it every single workout on them, um, they feel like they're getting a good workout. Yes, but my question for trainers and for the clients, ask yourself, are you truly making progress that direction?
Yeah. What's that saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
the
If it
thing.
ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's that saying. And I think that goes in my profession as a PT, that goes with my profession, and my patients are seeing improvement. I'm not going to change up, what we've been doing. Now, there comes an extent, where, okay, maybe we need to start to kind of progress things if the fatigue level is diminished and they're able to fly through. We increase the volume. That's
Yeah.
intensity. That's okay. Let's maybe find a progression, and that goes with anything with my clients, with powerlifting clients, and people who I do, not even just that for nutrition. Obviously, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If we're losing weight and our nutrition is great, we're not going to change a whole lot. But that also goes with my weight loss clients. That's to an extent for our audience. That's not like we just never change anything. But
Right.
to Josh's point, there is a lot of things that people do that the clients that we treat, you know, in their everyday lives, some movement patterns are constantly, continuously done,
Yeah.
without really thinking about it. And it might be great that they can start to do it, for a day without any pain. Well, what about for a week? What about for a month? What about for the rest of your life? So honing in and just hammering that stuff, if it's working, just continue to go at it. There's no reason to stop unless obviously the patient says like, hey, can we maybe look into changing things? Or if you notice, okay, the body is starting to kind of get acclimated to the exercises that we've been doing and the techniques that we've been doing. Let's kind of change things up. But that's if it ain't broke, don't fix it, which is a very true point. Because like you said,
Yeah.
adding new things, I also feels like it's great because sometimes people get like they're like, ugh, I gotta come in. I know what Josh is gonna do. I know what Andrew's gonna prescribe me. They get a little bit bored. So
Yeah.
changing things up is a little bit good as long as you feel like it's good, like the patient can still perform the exercises or the activities, whatever we prescribe. But I also feel like patients, are working with us because they want to know that like, okay, I'm coming in. I kind of know what I'm gonna do today, but I also know if Josh changes things up, I trust him. I believe what he has for me. And it's been working. I think that's a great feeling too. So, and if it's not, you change things up. It's not
Yeah,
that.
and it's one of those things for me too. Like if we've been hammering like we'll pick dumbbell bench press as a prime example, and like you're making runways of avenues on progressions, and it's still we can up weights, we can increase tempo durations, we add extra sets, etc. And it feels like it's losing its freshness at some level, even though there's still a great avenue of a runway. I'm gonna switch it up on you. I'm gonna be like, hey, let's do max sets of push-ups to failure. Because what the client doesn't realize, and trainers take note on this, clients as well, uh, we're smart on that, right?
Oh
What
yeah.
you don't realize is it's the same pattern. We're just giving you a different exercise so it feels great. So that's one of the, I guess, sneaky ways that I kind of do it. I'll give them the same pattern and a new fresh face. And they get super excited about trying that out, testing that out for the day. But it's technically stimulus is very similar to what I'm looking to get from them because we're still making massive progress. And it's cool. I actually just did one of those this evening with a client. We've been hammering dumbbell bench for a while. We took them from when I first met him, we were at 15s. We're now at 65s.
Nice.
Met him. We could do 4 push-ups unassisted off the floor. Haven't tested it in a while, and I was like, "Hey, you know what? Today's testing day." Um, Proud of him. Not going to disclose too much about personal lives and clients. He is 59 years old. He did 37 push-ups tonight in a row.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah, massive, massive improvement. And he stood up. The smile on his face says it all,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like he
I can
knows that,
imagine.
like, hey, I did three, sketchily 4 of these when I first started. And I've seen them maybe 3 times in the past 6 months. And all of a sudden I did 37 of
Hmm.
them. Like he's shocked by that.
Nice.
So it's a cool way to show him that like this pays off in your daily life.
Oh yeah.
Push pattern you're going to need. Like we talked last time about the neuro clinic. Um, as you age, if you fall, like patterns I won't allow my clients to lose, push up, lunge. That's how we get up off the floor successfully, provided we're not injured. It's a push up pattern into a lunge, and then you stand up from there.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like if I can access, I have 4 hip replacement clients right now. They all lunge. You're not losing the lunge once you get it from me. You might see a Bulgarian split squat, right? Like everybody's favorite lower body exercise, but you're not losing that pattern of single leg strength to be able to get yourself up when it really matters.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I think those are all great points. And I think I think the biggest thing with in terms of this topic that we're on right now, at least for me, as we kind of relate it back to how do we continue to get clients and how do we keep clients on, I think the biggest thing is like communication.
100%. Yeah.
And communicating with, I feel like maybe some clients like getting surprised if you're going to make changes, but I also feel like if it's kind of like with my patients who I see every day, if I'm going to make changes to the program, I'm kind of going to explain why I'm doing that because
Yeah.
sometimes as a float, I go to all the different clinics. Patients are in routines, but if patient's doing an exercise and they're just flying through their stuff, I'm like, why don't we increase the resistance? Why don't we try this? It's the same thing that goes back to clients. You want to be able to communicate your thought process to your clients. You want to be able for them to understand why you're doing this, why they're doing this, how this is going to benefit them, and how we're going to attack this.
Yeah.
I think that answers there are three main questions like why is he changing this up? What are we really doing? And how is this going to help me?
Yeah. 100%.
You do that, it answers a lot of their questions and kind of gets rid of those overthinking thoughts and kind of nervousness. I got to try some new stuff today, and then it's just like, am I ready for this? And you just kind of explain like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. So, what
It's
do you think about that?
yeah, it's actually it's huge for me and my team in here too, the why behind what we pick. So I'm ruthless about the team in here, like everybody. Between like three staple trainers in here, we bring near 50 years experience to the industry, the oldest of us being 37 years old.
Hmm.
So more experience than age. And my big thing is I had worked in commercial facilities and I would see clients ask trainers, well, why did you pick this? And they'd say it's a good exercise. And oh my gosh, that ruined me mentally because there's for every client in here at any moment in time, all the way down to the warm up, you can look at me and say, why? And
Hmm.
I have a clear cut reason why, based on what we've assessed, based on the things that we're currently doing, this movement is in your program.
Yep.
This is exactly why. And if for whatever reason, it's always a two-way street with me, the client just hates a certain thing. Obviously, there are backups, like we said, that will get a similar stimulus in for them. So I
Oh
do
yeah.
have other things ready to go if there's just something that doesn't vibe with a client for whatever reason.
Hmm. And I think that's a really good point. I also do think that you touched on it a little bit is building that rapport. And this kind of goes with anything about building that rapport with your clients. It's not like you need to know their everyday, like everything that's going on in their lives. But I do feel like, from my perspective as a PT, it's kind of hard for me to build rapport. Now, people can say, well, you're afloat, you go to different clinics. I don't see all the patients every day. Yes, true. But even in general, sometimes I go to the same clinics. It's just hard to build rapport with patients all the time when I see them 3 hours in a week. So you do the math, whatever that is, how
Yep.
many hours a week I'm actually seeing them, it's very little. Whereas compared to the clients who I actually coach, I'm they kind of some open up more to me than others, but I kind of hear everything that goes on in their lives,
Yeah.
for the most part. And that allows me to kind of adapt to the certain situations and the life scenarios that come into play. I also feel like that allows me to kind of build rapport with them easier. Like they trust me. They believe me that they can open up to me about things that are going on. I'm not going to be the best person for advice on all the different topics, but I do feel like it's kind of a second avenue for them to kind of be like, okay, I got this going on, but hey, do you think we can still kind of go and attack this goal that I still have? Because I got a lot of stuff, lifing, but
Yeah.
I'm really still trying to attack my goals. And you can kind of be almost a positive outlet for them. And I think that rapport just gets stronger and stronger when people go through those situations, but you're there, you're that positive aspect of them still trying to reach their goals and make themselves feel better when life is just kind of chaotic right now.
Yeah, I'm shoot, I got a lot to say on that topic.
Go ahead, let's do it. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so we'll start with like a bad way to retain clients and it'll all kind of full circle here. So I did an interview with a trainer about 2 years ago and She had worked at some very elite facilities in the Chicagoland area. Like we're talking the cream of the crop facilities. And I was very curious, why did you not stick out these facilities, et cetera? Like why is there such a short time span at each? And her response to me was like, well, we're here to exercise. She's like, I don't care about your dogs, I don't care about your personal life, et cetera. Um, and she's like, and I'm sure you're well aware of this, when you charge the pricing that you charge, like people don't care. They just no show you. She's like, because to them, money is no issue. And I looked her straight in the face and I'm like, I think you have our entire industry backwards. Like, I've been no showed one time since I opened my company, and it was because he put it in his calendar for the wrong time. He
Hmm.
actually showed up an hour later. Uh, and walked in at the same time as another client. That's the only time it's happened. I told her, we rapport build from day one. I was like, you need to know about your clients' kids, what they go through, et cetera. Not that we're therapists, right? We're definitely not, but we are. If you've been in the industry long enough, you're going to have clients open up about some tough stuff. I've gone through a lot of stuff with some of my clients, from different medical diagnoses to losing family members, et cetera. And I'm the first one to just walk up like, do you need a hug? And they love me for that. Like they know I'll give them the hug they need in that moment. I'll get them through that hour, and we'll still push the needle the right direction. But yeah, terrible way to not retain clients. The clients don't care about exercise the way we do. I was just talking with a client this afternoon about this. Trainers and a lot of us, if you guys don't know, if you're in the industry, we're all kind of freaks. We would do this for fun to ourselves. And the client I was talking to was like, yeah, like your definition of fun is smashing legs for 3 hours until you can't walk. He's like, my definition of fun is like wine spritzers on the patio and watching like football or something along the
Yeah.
line. And you need to realize like they don't care about this at the level we do. They still have a goal they would love to obtain. But
Hmm.
if you bring them along and talk to them about things that they would like to talk about, ask them questions, right? About their day, their life, etc. Um, you'll have a phenomenal rapport with them over the course of even just 1 month. You'll know about more than them. And it paints an awesome picture of like you get to meet some really cool people working in our industry.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think that's it. I think you do get to meet a lot of interesting and now I see the connections that you can make. If you change a person's life, they may work in an industry that can benefit you. They may be, the head of a company. They may have an uncle or an aunt who works, at I don't know, owns like a yoga studio or something like that, or I don't know, works at like a fitness industry or something like that, where they could start maybe recommending you clients, and then you get
Yeah.
word of mouth clients, and I think that's something that we're going to talk about, but we might as well talk about it now. The biggest way to get clients is really word of mouth. Now you have more experience in that realm than I do, but I think when you hear it from someone's mouth and you don't just hear it, or see it online or someone texts you about it, but when someone's like pretty adamant, because I think human beings, as much as, we can kind of learn from technology and all this stuff and texting, we're visual creatures. So what you see is what you believe, and what you hear is what you believe as well. When you can hear a family member or a friend talk about a trainer like you, Josh, for example, and then you see like how positive and their emotions on their face and how happy they were with working with you, that makes them be like, you know what? I think I might go into this guy, I might ask him, might see what's up, instead of, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll look it up on the internet, but I'm probably not going to put too much time and effort into it because I'm still, you know, uncertain. But hey, oh, but completely changed. Oh, wow, he helped my friend. I'm actually in tune with this. They're recommending him. Let me actually go look it up. Let me go give him a call, go actually go to the gym. I think that's a really important thing. And that all stems from what we just talked about, communication, building rapport with the patients, and really being able to actually, progress, regress exercises, explain the why you are doing this with the patients and the clients every session. So it's not just, and if things are improving, keep them the same. You know, I think that's an important point. So what's your kind of thought process on that? Like, what's the biggest way that you have gotten clients?
Yeah. I built the gym on 100% word of mouth referrals, which is in 2022 through 2025. It's kind of insane that like I had next to zero online presence. I think you can find my gym's Instagram, like Health Code Fitness. I think we have 2 or 3 posts only. My personal page, Josh DeRozier, has very little posts as well. How I built it is just servicing people. Like I had come across this phrase recently, and it's kind of, I think, sums up what I've done. It's building a referral machine. It's create a customer experience so good that you can't be ignored. So I've built over the course of the years kind of an experience. My mom actually came up with a great title for the company, not title for health code, but what we do. She calls it concierge training.
Hmm.
Uh, it's an entirely different avenue. Like I'm the first one when somebody is working their butt off,
Hmm.
and finish a set, I'm walking a water bottle to them. Like they're not going to get their own water. I'm walking it to them. If that water bottle's almost empty, I'm going to fill it up at the bottle filler station, getting them fresh water.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
been back like electrolyte powders, glucose tabs. I train a couple of people with diabetes. I keep medications. I'm like, I'm ready for anything in here. Um, yeah, it's really I service people at an extremely high level, and what's undeniable from day one is the level of care. It's always we talked like that client trainer relationship. To me, it's not, it's client trainer team. We are on the same team, catalysting you forward to make sure that we get you where you want to go. And we know progress is not a linear journey; it ebbs and flows. So it's how do we navigate that? And I always call those are speed bumps, not roadblocks. Um, and if it is a roadblock, there's a detour. You got
Oh
to know
yeah.
how to navigate the detours. But yeah, service people at such a high level that when you hear them speak your name, like it's undeniable how good it is to them. And I had done a certification a while back where the guy was like, okay, who here has clients with back pain? And like most everybody raised their hand as usual. Right. And he's like, who here has clients with back pain that have referred them 3 or 4 other clients? And 95% of the room's hands went down.
Yeah.
And the guy looked at the room and he goes, okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. And it's a harsh reality. He's like, you suck at your job. He's like, because that person with back pain knows at least 4 other people with back pain, and they won't tell them about you because you didn't solve the problem for them.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so that one stuck with me through the years. I took that certification 6 or 7 years ago, and that's yeah, it's I live by an acronym my dad taught me. It's called WIN. What's important now? That's why I gave that little golden tidbit about what are your expectations from me, where's the pains at, et cetera. I'm going to solve those things for you because that's what's important now. And when I take somebody out of years of pain quickly as a trainer, A, they're shocked. B, all of a sudden my phone blows up with referrals.
Oh yeah, I
And
can
yeah,
imagine.
yeah.
That's actually your dad's come up with some pretty good acronyms.
My dad's a gold mine for that. He's he's awesome. He knows a lot about it. Mama Bear's a big help too.
Yeah.
Parents to death. Yeah, and I do service family in here too. It's a family environment. I got my aunt training under me, my father-in-law, got my mom and dad. Normally it's considered conflict of interest. Don't mind disclosing on the podcast. Parents are getting older in age. It's valuable time that I have with them. I
Oh,
get to hang out with them for hours. So I got to separate like business and personal life and know that I'm there to get them to the goal.
hmm. I think
Mom
that's a great
just came
mindset.
out of, yeah, she just came out of PT with a broken shoulder. My job now is fill the gap on get her back 100% from the gap that she still has.
Mhm.
Because I'm sure well aware, which I don't want to knock the PT industry. You guys are amazing. You return people to their ADLs, but prior to there's this gap in strength. right? I've seen that at least. More so coming out of what I want clients to be aware of is there's what I call pump and dump clinics. We're left with unqualified people that don't really pay attention to what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Someone has her ADLs back, but unfortunately, and I will not name drop because I don't knock people in the industry. Um, Brought up the fact that her shoulder can't internally rotate like at all. 6 or 7 times throughout her PT, it was never addressed. So for a woman, that's a huge problem, right? Like, how do you put your bra on?
Yep.
Uh,
Hey,
yeah,
back it
like
on.
yeah. So it's tough. There's a lot of things, and that was just not addressed. But I love when people get a high level of care. Yeah,
I think that's the most important thing. And I think that overall with, tonight's episode, that kind of sums everything up, like just in general, I think the biggest takeaways from tonight's episode from my standpoint, then we can kind of hear yours, um, and what you think for the audience members are, just a summary of the good and bad things to just kind of be able to keep clients. But from my opinion, it's really just, it comes down to three things. Can you communicate? Can
Mhm.
you kind of build rapport? Can you communicate? Can you build rapport with your clients? And are you able to, you know, progress and regress on the spot? In my
Yeah,
opinion, those three things can really honestly build your clients, make them come back because clients want to be able to have someone who communicates with them. Not maybe not 24/7, that's what I do with mine, but someone who will answer them in a time of need or answer them if they have issues or concerns. Someone who they build rapport with because the two kind of go along. They'll communicate with you more if they feel like they trust you and you guys have good rapport. And the third one is that you're able to progress and regress them and understand like, okay, this is a good time to do this. This is not a good time to do this. Maybe we're going to stick with this. Maybe we're not going to stick with this. But it being able to do that and explain that to them, hence communication, hence building rapport with them. Those are
yeah,
the three things that I feel like really um, allow you to build your clientele, have them continue to come back, and like we just talked about, have them spread word of mouth to their family, friends, whoever about your business, about what you do, about your care and how good you are helping them reach their goals. What's your takeaway from tonight's episode?
yeah. So I do love that. Those 3 points are crucial to me. And one of the phrases I kind of live by, don't know where it came from. Definitely not the daddy-o. It's existed for a while. Um, Somebody doesn't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care. So
Oh, that's a good point.
really bringing that level of care to somebody and showing them that like, hey, I am on your team to get you here. Uh,
Hmm.
when they feel that level of care, all of a sudden they start to care a lot more about the things that you've learned and why it matters to them in their life. Yeah, and my big thing, we're in a service industry. Serve your people, care about your people. Yeah, I mean, I've been to multiple, as we said, like I've been through losses with clients. I've been to doctors with clients. I've been to funerals, etc. Like I've been to so many weddings. Um, yeah, I get involved in their lives and they love that. Yeah, and it's powerful. We work in a very powerful industry.
Yeah. And I think that's honestly a great point to end on for tonight's episode. And, if you guys, the audience members, have any questions, uh, feel free to comment below. If you have any comments, or just thoughts about tonight's episode, feel free to comment below. Before we do end tonight, Josh, what's your Instagram page, your own personal one, and then the gym one so people can go follow you?
Yeah, so don't mind if you follow me. Just know I'm not highly active. That's something I'm working on improving. Business ownership is a constant learning curve. My personal Instagram, josh.derozier. Gym Instagram is healthcode.fitness. So healthcode period fitness. Those are the two. Working on trying to be a little bit more active so we can get some stuff out there because we got some great information coming out of here for you guys.
Good. That's awesome. That's awesome. So give them a follow on both pages. And then as far as us, please remember to subscribe before you leave. At the end of this video, there's going to be a little 5-second clip to click that button and subscribe. So make sure you do that if you are listening. And even if you're on the road, I don't know, feeding your kids, whatever it may be, it takes 1 second. Tell them to pause, pull over on this. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But when you get home, make sure you please subscribe, it just helps us build the channel, so we can give more of our knowledge and our own experiences back to you guys. But with that, I want to thank Josh for coming on tonight. We're going to continue to have him on. Obviously, he's a great guest, and is only helping me with my own knowledge and skill set as well too. So, with that, you guys have a great night, and look forward to the next episode.
Appreciate it.